Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Laststandgamers, and welcome. So today we're taking a look at an absolutely amazing ship from the Steam Workshop. In fact, this ship has been designed by one of our very own moderators. Now this is, of course, Cylon Basestar, one of the most feared ships that the Cylons have in their arsenal. And one of the great things about Husker, he's pretty much created a whole series of Battlestar Galactica ships, and they're all done to a very high level of detail. The hours and hours he spent crafting each individual block of armor, and the times that you can imagine him deleting segments and doing that whole segment over again. This is just absolutely fantastic. It's a beautiful piece of engineering. So let's start on the exterior, then we'll work our way inside, and we'll take it for a bit of a test drive as well. So the first thing I want to just bring your attention to is the detailing and the different techniques that is used to craft the armor. Now the first thing you can see as we look up from above here is we can see that sort of cross section in the center with the rings around it detailed in different colors. Now the basics, he's used different colors, yes, I do know, but you can also see he's recessed in some areas the armor itself, and that just creates that shadow, that detailing, the diffusion between blocks. That looks absolutely fantastic in your designs. There's a real lot we can learn here from Husker. So as we go down, particularly past this segment of armor here, you can see that they've used the combination of colors once again, the recessed armor. They've also added some of these random armor blocks itself, so you've got the round segments, and we've also got a few vents in sections as well, just really breaking up the shape and just making it look fantastically appealing to the eye. So as we come over here, we've noticed that we've got two of these little turrets on either side, as well as a smaller interior turret, but these are actually remote control missile launchers. So you've got the missile launcher on either side, you've got this red light in the center that is just kind of quite scary and eerie, and they can be red load. I think the Cylons are trying to take me over here, but it can be reloaded through the actual rotor head itself. That's pretty damn cool. So what's also pretty awesome about this deck is it's got all of these access ports to the central hangar here. So this particular one is behind an airtight door, but you can see if we look to the left and right, we've got all these angled entrances for fighters or various other Cylon ships. We've also got the entrance up here to the main deck, or the CIC. You can see that this ambient lighting just really brings this area together. So as we zoom out, we'll lower ourselves to the lower deck segment, and this kind of reversed slope reminds me a little bit of a yo-yo for some reason. So you can see the armor slopes down in the center. We've got the individual gap here, and there's just something fantastic. I'll show you. I'll spawn my character in down here, for instance. There's just imagine launching a Cylon fighter from this particular ship here itself. The atmospheric value of it is fantastic. So let's just pop back into my spectator camera, and you can see that there's some random lights placed around different areas, just adding to the ambience. I can't even speak. My mind is slowly being melted by the Cylons itself. But we've got missile turrets up there on either side as well, just to add a little bit of protection for that main hangar. You can also see there's some divots in the actual hangar bay here itself. So as you fly into the hangar bay, this one's a little bit more advanced, so you can see we've got the usual parking areas, and we've got ourselves a Cylon fighter in here as well. Two Gatling guns on either side. We've got the lighting in the center, a very nice shape to it as well. If I just get the camera here above, you can see that round sort of outline with these cuttings here where the Gatling guns are stored themselves. Very nice dark design indeed. So let's pop down a deck. So as we go down into here, you can see we've got another little Cylon attack craft storage zone, and then we can fly back out onto the main deck and pop down one more level. So we've got a lower sort of hangar bay area, and this has just been reversed. You can see it's exactly the same as the top deck, but we've got ourselves some cargo access. Maybe doing some maintenance on this lower level would be pretty damn cool. So let's actually attempt to activate our legs and head into the bridge in the CIC. So spawn our little character into here. There we go. We've got ourselves our jetpack on. We'll open up the airlock and we'll enter into the corridor. Now you can see the detail that's gone into this corridor itself, the use of the various different blocks. You can see we've got the interiors, we've got this sort of catwalk underneath here that we can see to the lower deck, as well as the lighting there just bouncing off all these angles. The armor is very smooth, he's not used any of the texture ones. So let's continue working our way through this corridor and down to the lower deck. So through here we've got ourselves a little bit of a survival kit. That is actually pretty damn smart because it means you can get back into the bridge area if you've taken a hit and manned the various control seats. So let's just give this a quick spin before we continue moving ourselves around. So what I was shocked about the ship when I was testing it out earlier is just how well it actually handles. The gyroscopic power of this is absolutely amazing. And what's great as well is none of them thrusters are actually exposed. They're all tucked inside. So you can see as we begin moving and floating around this ship. So let's just begin with a little bit of acceleration. You can see the acceleration is almost weirdly... I don't know, when you can't see the thrusters thrusting, it just feels like the ship is floating and moving around without any sort of power itself. So you can see the thrusters glowing underneath into the armor areas there. Our acceleration is pretty good, our deacceleration is pretty slow, but for a ship of that size, just having the ability to maneuver around like that is absolutely great. So let's pop out of here. Let's have a look. So 10 meters a second. Let's try not to fly ourselves into any walls in here by mistake. And we can continue looking around the interiors. To make this just a little bit easier, what I'm going to do is grab the camera and we're going to have a little bit of a sneak behind the scenes so we can actually see how this thing's been constructed. So we've got the use of these particular thruster housings. Now, I've seen this in a lot of other designs who like to build ships tucked away. Basically what's happening here is they've measured the distance between the thrusters so they don't cause any damage, and then they've targeted them all at each other to save space. And with a variety of these little thruster engines that you can see through here, we've also got an antenna in this section and the plumbing for all the hydrogen secretly behind here, as well as a little bit of extra storage. So if you did want to take this into a survival world, you would have places to build extra things between the hangar bay. So let's just have a quick sneak peek through here. So nothing too special in the top section. We've got the thruster zone like we checked out before. So as we go a little bit lower, now there is another deck where, for instance, all the batteries and jump drives are stored in this section as well. You can see it's got massive jump drive capacity in here. So we'll continue lowering ourselves down. So the space has been used well, especially for the thrust and gyroscope system. So as we took ourselves further into the inner workings of this thing, you can just see how much space has been used or saved when building each one of these individual hangars. So overall, a really fantastic ship. So this room here is another one of the sort of reactor type special show-off rooms. We've got the desk there in the center with the tire there behind it, and the reactors there as well. We've got these little maintenance sort of shafts so you can interact with your nuclear reactor. That I think is pretty damn cool. You see the stairs then lead back up to this section, and you can lead yourself back up to the main deck. So it's got quite a simple interior to it. We've got the engineering, we've got the catwalks leading in various directions. Very simple indeed, but it's got great capacity to add fighters to it. So before we wrap this up, I thought it might be fun to actually utilize both the fighter and the missile turrets on this base. So first off, let's have a quick test of this little fighter that has been built here for us. So we've got to gain access to the cockpit. Might be a little bit hard, but you can see we've got a little bit of an entrance window here. Now we're inside there, we're going to have to stay in first person, because if we don't, we're going to be crashing into everything. So we're actually off the ground now, and we need to navigate our way out the hangar. We need to make sure that we've got our connectors disconnected. We need to make sure our thrusters are on. There we go, thrust is on. We can move ourselves away from that connector. Let's disable that. Oh god, what have I done? Okay, disconnect that. Don't play with... Oh! Aaron has not prepared himself to fly this thing, most definitely. It's got a lot more torque and thrust than I originally anticipated. So yeah, let's test this. Let's see if we can get our fighter out and around this hangar as easy as we think. It looks like it's got quite a narrow clearance for this ship. Yep, so we've managed to get it through this section. We'll get it over to the main launch area. So we could launch it through any of these hangars, like so. Let's try this one here. You definitely won't be launching at any particular speed. Oh god, what's happened there? I can't see where I'm going. The third person's not good enough, Husker. It restricts me back into the first person view. Okay, so now I'm literally totally blind in here. It's a great fighter. It looks lovely, but when you're trying to fly it in first person, there we go. Let's try find another angle. There we go. We can get ourselves out. Right, let's launch this ship. Oh wow, that's beautiful. Looks absolutely fantastic. Let's bank off here to the right. We can have a look around this thing. So yeah, it's quite a maneuverable fighter by the look of it. We can maneuver it quite easily. Let's have a look at that top entrance there. Let's see if we can bring it around. I don't think we'll be flying this thing through it, but we can fly it around the exterior or the inside of the sort of yo-yo. Yeah, we can fly ourselves through here quite easily. Could circle before we get to attack, protect this thing. Oh, it'd be awesome doing some gun runs on some of these missile turrets. Anyway, let's try out one of these missile turrets. I've got a feeling you'll be able to control it from one of the stations up in the turret at the top, so in sort of the CIC or bridge room. So let's get our fighter number 1, enough thrust, slow ourselves down, get ourselves to one of these hangar bays, and then we should be able to access the CIC from that. So not too much acceleration, because we need to be able to use our thrusters. We'll come towards it, we'll turn our HUD off there for a little bit of immersion. Bring ourselves in. Let's hope we're not drifting too much. Or correct a little bit here. There we go. We've got it. Okay, so this hangar bay looks a little bit narrower than before. Let's just line ourselves up as careful as possible. And we got into first person. Ah! Okay, there we go. Just tilt the camera down a little bit. And we're in. Okay. We'll pop out the cockpit. We'll land this on the deck here. And we'll see if we can get access to one of them missile turrets. So down to the CIC we go again. Quickly navigate through the corridors, rushing. There we go. There's our seat. Let's just check one of these, see if any of these are pre-configured to the turrets. So these are pre-configured to the little shooty turrets. Oh, they're also pre-configured with the missile turret script. Oh, fantastic. So secondary fire is missiles and rockets at the same time. So if we actually just zoom out here for a second, we need to find which actual missile we're controlling. So if we go to 9, can we shoot at it? Can we maneuver it? There it is. Okay, so it's this one. This is the one we're actually in control in the minute. And with that sort of missile turret script, it means that we can maneuver both at the same time. Wow. That's quite cool. We can't fire the missiles from this camera, though, at the same time. So we've got to kind of do it in this perspective. Oh, very nice indeed. I love how it's slaved to the little turret on top. It means that aiming is so much easier. Scripts like that are fantastic. Just the issue with so many other scripts out there, you can do pretty much anything with them that can be both used for good and evil. But anyway, to wrap this one up, Husker has done it again. He's made another fantastic Battlestar. Just, well, no, not another, oh, what am I even on about here? I'm just blown away by amazement from this craft and this creation. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. I recommend that you check this out in the description below. I'm going to find some words somewhere because I don't know what the hell I'm saying anymore. I think maybe the Cylons have done something to my mind. But I'd like to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.